welcome to SVG-TV News for Monday, April 22nd, 2024. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. The long battle over non-payment of taxes continues with Unicom, the parent company of furniture and appliance store, quotes SVG Limited, and the Inland Revenue Department. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves spoke on the matter on the WFM Issues at Hand program yesterday, Sunday, where he publicly made it known that, quotes, Unicom lost the tax case when a decision was made last week by the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court in its appellate jurisdiction.
The case was between Unicom, St. Vincent Limited. Unicom owns courts. They're the appellants. And the two respondents were the appeal commissioners, the income tax appeal commissioners, and this case was heard on January the 29th this year, and the judgment was reserved and delivered on April 17th. The Comptroller of Inland Revenue had done an audit of the accounts of Unicom courts for the period 2007 to 2011. And they subsequently to that review, into 2015, the Comptroller of Inland Revenue gave notice to Unicom of the intention of the Inland Revenue Department to raise additional assessments to the tax on the basis of this review, this audit, in the sum of $12.66 million, inclusive of interest and penalties.
The Prime Minister said that Courts SVG now owes an estimated $20 million over the years of not paying taxes.
Unicom appealed to the income tax, under the law, income tax appeal commissioners. The appeal commissioners upheld the position of the Comptroller of Inland Revenue. Unicom went to the High Court. The High Court ruled in favor of the Comptroller of Inland Revenue. The Unicom appealed, and this appeal, as he was gave, the judgment was just given. I have in my hand here a 24-page judgment supporting all three appeal judges, appeal court judges, agreed to dismiss the appeal of Unicom and affirm judgment for the Comptroller of Inland Revenue. This sum of $12.6 million perhaps is now closer to $20 million or thereabouts.
Prime Minister Gonsalves noted that taxes are collected from all companies owing the Inland Revenue Department, which amount to millions of dollars.
The importance of this particular judgment in making sure that we are always vigilant. We have to be in the collection of our taxes, particularly, well, from all taxpayers, but particularly from the 20% of the companies which pay in about 80% of the company taxes. I'm not talking about all taxes, company taxes. For instance, a significant amount of taxes come by way of VAT, both at the port and domestic VAT. That'd be about $270 million this year, both at the port. One of them is about 160, the other one about 140 million.
And Unicom, in a news release today, said that they will be appealing the matter to SVG's highest appellate court, the Privy Council. The Unicom said it is part of the company stated that they firmly believe that based on specialist tax and legal advice that they have fully complied with all tax regulations in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, noting that they have been committed to following all laws and policies of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It was further noted that it is a corporate matter that has no impact on courts or its staff members, and that any step taken will consider its business continuity, the well-being of staff members and customers, and continuous support to all communities. Unicom Group has been present in the country since 1987, supporting the communities and remaining committed to economic and social development. Court said it will continue to engage with local authorities to resolve the situation, adding that it does not intend to leave SVG and will continue to work under the most stringent governance and ethical standards. In other local news now, we heard that veterinarians and other stakeholders are meeting here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to address issues relating to animal health, diseases, and other issues relating to veterinarian at the 5th General Assembly of Caribvet. The 4-day conference being hosted at the NIS Conference Room in capital Kingston opened today with Chair of Caribvet, Dr. Sharon Vera, calling for all partners to ratify the issues that needs to be addressed urgently.
The agenda that we made known to you in the invitation letter highlights the themes on what we will give some updates on, information related to administrative work, and the reports of the technical working groups, reports of different projects that were done by Caribvet in collaboration with other partners. We will have specific sessions on African swine flu and avian influenza, and also on One Health projects that we have executed in the past year in the region. So we will have 3 informative days with you all.
CARICOM Program Manager for Agriculture, Sean Bohr, noted that the CARICOM region has to be prepared for new diseases emerging in animals that they may enter these shores.
Something that affects us, and I think that goes right into the spirit of Caribvet, that acts as that bridge for the entire Caribbean region. It acts as that bridge as it provides the technical information that is needed to be shared amongst our experts here. It acts as that bridge as we seek to expand trade amongst ourselves, because too often the lack of basic knowledge as relates to animal health is what prevents the wealth creation that we all seek for our region.
The conference is the first in person to be held since 2019 and the first for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Minister of Agriculture Sabota Caesar, who also addressed the opening ceremony, said he would like to see food and nutritional security addressed. He said that policymakers and partners, including money lending agencies, must be made aware that resources personnel are available to improve food and nutritional security in the region.
Also speak loudly to the private sector. The constituency of stakeholders listening to us and following the results of this assembly will be aware and will be reassured that within the region we have the human resource capacity that forms a bedrock to support their investment. And I want to send a very clear message to lending institutions, because we can sit here and we can discuss the science. At the end of the day, it boils down to issues touching and concerning production and productivity. And I want for the lending institutions to be aware that from the standpoint of having great security when they make loans available to our stakeholders, that in our region we have some of the best technicians. Therefore, we have an excellent platform to provide that security.
SVG today joined the rest of the world in observing Earth Day under the theme Planet versus Plastic, which aims to bring attention to the serious issue of plastic pollution and how it harms nature. On NBC Radio Face-to-Face program, Director of Forestry Fitzgerald Providence says the improper disposal of plastic continues across SVG, and that some plastics, including plastic bottles, can become a haven for rodents, which can become a serious environmental issue.
So they can, depending on how they are, they can also be combustible and also cause these dry woodland forest fires or grass fires that we experience in the dry season, when people tend to burn them to get rid of them. Particularly our animals that eat like jellyfish and so on, the turtles, they look like the plastic bags particularly. The clear one, they look like a jellyfish, and they would eat them. The seabirds, like the seagulls and so on, they would pick them up because they like the caps so on. They would pick them up and ingest them as they look like food, and then they get stuck in the stomach of the animal. And we've seen pictures where dead seagulls, seabirds are rotten, and there's the plastics in the middle of the skeleton, which means they ingested them, they killed them, and plastics kill the bird, and it stay rotting, and the plastics still remain in the environment.
Providence says they are also concerned with the number of bushfires, particularly in the Camden Park and Edinburgh areas.
The persons have still keep burning the dry vegetation. Over the years, we've tried to put in some trees that will sort of keep away the lemongrass, but we cannot get every area, and so you'll have these fires occurring that can cause damage to the environment. Immediately, in terms of the smoke, the soot can be dangerous to our health. Persons in the laundry, persons can't breathe because it's strong. The smoke, and also because the heat of the fire also destroys that humus layer on the topsoil that helps to hold the soil together. So when you have rain coming, that protective holding, sort of like a glue holding that topsoil together, is destroyed. So when you have rains, the water, it's easily eroded. And when you erode around the rocks come rolling down when you have extreme weather events, as we've seen in the past.
The forestry director further noted that the vegetation since the explosive eruption of Lassofer volcano is naturally coming back to its former state, which is a good sign.
The natural regeneration, which we encourage and we protect. It's very costly to do reforestation work on these things, and then nature is very diverse and dynamic, and when you do reforestation work in natural areas, it tends to disrupt the natural ecosystem services of the forest and the function. So we would leave the upper slopes of the volcano to come back naturally, and hope that people don't go up there and disturb the vegetation. In terms of in other work, in terms of where you see there was a lot of damage closer to where persons live, there's where we have to do work in terms of rehabilitation of maybe some areas that were particularly along river courses and also steep slopes, where we have to do soil conservation work and also some revegetation. Also what we've been doing is clearing. We have worked to clear some of the debris in some of the waterways. We know the waterways don't flow all the time, but when it comes to the heavy rains, they tend to become very torrents of water, as you know, from the slopes of the volcano.
And in commemoration of Earth Day, youths from Stubbs, Diamond Bible and Mesopotamia clean up the Argyle beach just in front of the international airport. The cleanup took place on Saturday, where more than 80 large bags of garbage were collected from off the beach. Zonal Police Coordinator of the youth groups, Yolande London, said youths must be taught to do their part to save planet Earth.
Something to commemorate the day, and we agreed that we would come to Argyle and do a beach cleanup. The Stubbs Police Youth Club cleaned this area last year, and it was just about 30 of us, and we had an entire skip filled with plastic and other garbage, and we realized that this area is heavily littered, and so because it falls within our zone as well, that is why we decided to do this. So we are really pleased to have members from all of the clubs within that zone joining here today. We have filled one skip already, and actually we are running out of bags. We have about 85 extra large garbage bags, and we are close to filling all of those. And there's still a lot more work to be done here at Argyle. So we are happy that we as a club and young people, our children, can understand the importance of protecting the planet by doing their part by cleaning up. So that's what we are doing here today.
Another coordinator said planet Earth is under serious threat and more has to be done to educate people on plastic pollution.
Critical, threatening pollution going on within plastic and our planet. What I would like us to do, each and every one of us in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, is to be active and take this campaign more serious. Let us save our beaches and our planet. This campaign, as my
shy member.
Yes, my shy members, which is their first day partaking in such activity, they refer to this as fun because they do enjoy the outing. But it is a very, very hard-working situation. And I'm asking each and every person in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, let us make a change.
For the youth, it was a fun but also educational exercise.
Good morning, my name is Elran Lewis. I'm from the Stubbs Police Youth Club. By cleaning up this morning, it was fun actually because we get to interact with other youth club, and we get to at least clean up the beach to look more cleaner, to attract more tourists and things. And I think that this should be, we should do this more often, like visit more other beaches around the country and do it more often so we could have cleaner country.
My name is Krista Kane. I'm from the Richland Park Police Youth Club. The cleaning campaign was fun. We picked up a lot of bottles, plastic bags and stuff.
The origin of Earth Day can be traced back to 1970. The Caribbean Digital Transformation Project, CARTEP, will this week move towards advancing efforts to implement a digital single window for land and property transactions. This is through a 3-day workshop scheduled to open tomorrow, Tuesday, April 23rd, 2024, at French's House in Kingston. The workshop will begin with an opening ceremony at 9 a.m. It will bring together critical stakeholders with varying degrees of involvement in land management. A news release says the objective of the workshop is to develop functional requirements and specifications for the implementation of the integrated geospatial information framework, the National Spatial Data Infrastructure, parcel-based land information system, and the electronic single window for land and property transactions. The release further notes that the workshop will feature key professionals who will share insightful contributions to the discussion, drawing from a wealth of regional and global leading practices in the field. The primary agenda for the workshop includes information sharing on the overall SWLPTS project, discussion on institutional frameworks, data sharing protocols, mapping and software development, discussion of process workloads, and the vision for an integrated land information system. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves is expected to deliver the feature address at the opening of the workshop. Other speakers include Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Transport Works, Lands and Physical Planning Montgomery Daniel, Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Information Technology Camilla Gonsalves, CARTEP Project Coordinator Winston George, and Land Management Officer from the Land and Surveys Department, Collis Murray. Tuesday's opening is expected to be attended by permanent secretaries and heads of departments within the stakeholder ministries, heads of statutory corporations or their representatives, members of the private sector, representatives from the ECCB, the World Bank, and consultants Ernest and Young, among others. The single window for land and property transactions is one of the major components of the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project, which promises to revolutionize the way government services are delivered and accessed by citizens and businesses here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. On the 72 hours weather forecast, the SVG Met Service says Saharan dust will be across the area for the remainder of the day, with a few light showers forecast for tonight. Tuesday and Wednesday are forecast to be mostly hazy, with slight chance of a few showers. A shear line is expected in the vicinity around Wednesday night into Thursday, producing possible slightly cooler temperatures and scattered showers. Saharan dust is expected to reduce around Wednesday night. Easterly trades at 20 kilometers per hour or 30 kilometers per hour are expected to move across the island chain back into east and northeast around Wednesday night into Thursday. Seas are expected to slide to moderate in open waters, with swell peaking at 1 meter on the western coast and 2.0 meters on the eastern coast. Attorney-at-law Redrick Jones has expressed great concern with the high number of sexual offences being committed in the society today. Jones, who is a practitioner at the family court, was a panelist on SVG-TV's Viewpoint program last evening, discussing the recent increased penalties for sexual offences, the impact these offences are having on victims and the society, and whether the age of consent is contributing to the incidences of sex crimes in the country.
The statistics that I have seen suggest that in 2023 we had a total of 230 sexual offences in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Now 230 offences in a country with 110,000 people is by far excessive. I must honestly say that it breaks my heart when I go to the family court and I have to be witness to persons who would have suffered sexual violence. As a practitioner, we have a sworn duty to ensure that we do our best to defend our clients. But I'm also a person, and I'm also a person with a conscience, and I'm also a father of children. So sometimes there is a conflict between my role as a lawyer and my role as a citizen and as a parent. It's really heart-rending when you have to be there to be a part of these offenses whenever they do occur. 230 is an alarming number, and if we don't realize at this point that we have a serious problem in this country and don't do what is necessary to address it with great urgency, it's going to get worse.
On what offences he is seeing most in the court, Jones said, without the statistics, he is particularly concerned with unlawful sexual intercourse with persons under the age of 15. He also noted that moving back the age of consent from 15 to 16 cannot be seen as the only solution in dealing with sexual offences.
Because 15, of course, is our age of consent in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I find that particularly concerning. And you have also a substantial number of these offences occurring with girls who are under the age of 13. So it's very troubling.
It is troubling. It is troubling. Is the current age of consent, which is 15 years old, is that too young of an age for a teenager to begin making possible life-altering decisions when it comes to sex, especially? And what makes it problematic?
The current age of consent.
The current age of consent, because it seems to be quite problematic.
Well, let me put things in context. I think it's only fair that I do. When I was invited to join the program, I thought it prudent to do a cursory check in the region to see what the age of consent is for most of the other territories. For most of the territories that I saw, it's actually 16. We have the distinction in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and for reasons best known to our parliamentarians at the time, we reduced it from 16 to 15. I'm not sure what benefit that serves, but it is what it is. I cannot say that the age of consent being 15 as opposed to 16 is a major contributor to the prevalence of sexual offenses that we have. I do believe that taking it back up to at least 16 may bring about some measured difference. But I can't say that that will be the be-all and end-all that solves our problem as regards sexual offences.
Assistant Superintendent of Police Nigel Butcher, who heads the Sexual Offences Unit of the RSVG Police Force, said he is in full support of moving up the current age of consent.
No right-thinking father or mother wants their daughter to be engaging in sexual activities at age 15. None. The current legal age to cast a vote is 18. The Juvenile Act defines a juvenile as someone under the age of 18. Legally, you're not allowed to purchase alcohol if you are under the age of 18. You cannot obtain a driver's license until you obtain the age of 18. Why are you allowed to give consent to have sex at 15?
Something that could change your life.
It can change your life. So I am of the view that the age, there should be an increase in the age. What age does it increase to? That is for the lawmakers to decide. But the counter argument to it might be, or the person who's opposed to it might argue, our system is already overwhelmed. It might inundate our system with more arrests, more cases, given our limited resources and so on. But it's a matter of, it depends on which perspective you look at it. But I am in support of increasing the age of consent.
And the Pan Against Crime Committee, in association with the Gospel Fest Committee, on Sunday hosted a concert at the Layuk Hard Court. Addressing the gathering, Assistant Superintendent of Police Elgin Richards, who is in charge of the South and Northwestern Division, spoke of the number of youngsters who lost their lives to criminal activities, including those who have been killed through gun violence. ASP Richards said it is, however, not all gloom and doom, as we have to also celebrate the achievements of the youth in education at all levels. He also urged those present to support the RSVG police force in its crime-fighting strategy, strategies.
So on behalf of the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Enfield Williams, I implore you to be vigilant, as the adversary, Mr. Devil, is like a roaring lion looking for souls to devour. He's seeking us. I advise you, the youth, to go to church and stay away from crime and criminals. Focus on positives. Your growth and development is at the forefront. You should put that at your forefront and work hard to achieve the objectives that you should set for yourselves. Make sure that education stop on your front door. You must be on your front burner. After all, the surest way to wipe out poverty is through education.
ASP Richards used the opportunity to urge residents to take advantage of the current gun amnesty to surrender illegal guns and ammunition.
What does this mean? It means that if you hand in a firearm to the police or any of its agents, there will be no question asked. You can take, if you have an illegal firearm, you can take it to someone whom you are comfortable with, you can trust, to a head teacher, the JP in your community, the police, a lawyer, someone you can trust. And no questions would be asked as to your name, your address, your identity, nothing, no prosecution. However, if we look at the number of crimes and talking about murders for 2023, we would remember that we had some 50-something murders. And out of that, we have 42 committed by the way of illegal firearms. And adding to that, we had a number of other offenses where firearms were used, where persons did not lose their lives. I am just saying that too many crimes, too many illegal firearms are out there. That illegal firearm could be pointed at you. Advise, implore your next of kin, your friend, if you know they have a firearm that is illegal, to hand it in to the police.
And the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force is said to have conducted a successful community engagement event in the community of South Rivers in the Eastern Policing Division on April 18, 2024. The initiative included a community walkthrough followed by a town hall meeting attended by the Commissioner of Police, the Deputy Commissioner, other gazetted officers from the RSVG Police Force, High Command, and several senior and junior officers. The RSVG Police Force says the community policing initiative aimed to provide the residents of South Rivers a platform to voice their grievances, compliments, and constructive criticism, and was a direct response to recent concerns about safety in the area and allowing the police to listen to the community's concerns. A news release says during the town hall, Divisional Commander of the Eastern Division, Superintendent of Police Hezron Ballantyne, emphasized the historically peaceful reputation of South Rivers, highlighting the uncharacteristic nature of the recent violent incidents and stressed the importance of community cooperation in crime, reporting with the mantra, "If you see something, say something." SOP Ballantyne also tackled the issue of predial larceny, urging community members to discourage such offences and support local farmers by purchasing rather than stealing produce. He referenced various government initiatives available to support agricultural stakeholders and touch upon the ongoing investigation into the murder of Clinton Hackshaw, reassuring the community of the police commitment to bring the perpetrators to justice. In his remarks, Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of crime, Trevor Bailey, also emphasized the crucial role of partnership between the community and law enforcement in effectively addressing crime. He also commended the efforts of SOP Ballantyne and his team for their exemplary crime-solving record in the Eastern Division. In 2023, they achieved a remarkable milestone by solving 100% of the homicides committed in the district. ACP Bailey further emphasized the importance of community involvement in maintaining public safety and reassured the audience that solving crimes, especially murders, is a top priority. He also called for an end to the stigmatization of individuals who cooperate with police investigations as informers, asserting that being informed and informing the police about illegal activities should be viewed as an act of responsible citizenship.